Alright everyone, today's video, again, a little bit different. This one's actually not gym related, but I think this will actually be one of my best videos I ever make because this is so important and a habit that genuinely changed my life, which I want to share with you. I want everyone to use and steal in their life because honestly, my life would look a lot different if I never learned this by complete accident. And I'm going to walk you through it and show you exactly what you need to do to potentially change your life. Who knows? But this worked fucking wonders for me. So, without further ado, I'm going to set the scene and explain a little story. Now, this first photo here is really important. This is, if anyone knows, Nirvana Gym in Ibiza, where it all started for me, where I started my business. And to set the scene, I just graduated university. I was completely unsure of kind of what I wanted to do at this time. I remember I just finished and I was unsure of where I wanted to live, what I wanted to do for work. And I was actually kind of going straight into working foreign exchange and working in London, becoming, like a finance bro essentially. Because it was good money. They were paying good money. And I thought that was kind of what I wanted to do. I thought, I could learn sales and then that would be a good way to maybe run my business in the future. However, I didn't really want to do that because I was half in, half out. I was starting to build my fitness business on the side and, I always wanted that to be the main sort of thing. However, I lost sight of it because I really wanted to kind of earn money and I thought that, let's just start working. We can do this on the side and eventually we can do that. So that's kind of what I'm doing at this point. It's July last year and I'm applying for a lot of jobs while still building this fitness business. I then went to Ibiza for my birthday and believe it or not, that was the smartest decision I've ever made in my life. That was a very productive trip. Now, for anyone who knows Ibiza, it's probably not the most productive place. There's a lot of partying that goes on, a lot of degeneracy. It's not the best place to get things done. However, I remember the first day I landed, I actually flew out on my own. I was meeting a friend of mine who was coming a little bit later. So I had the day to myself and I went to this gym and I filmed quite a lot of content. Believe it or not, that content that I posted then actually resulted in me getting my first 1,000 or 1,000 so followers on Instagram. So it kind of really, started things off for me because it was a great gym, good setting, a lot of good reels came out of that. So I owe a lot to that gym and it'd be nice to go back there in the future and see how things have changed. However, I smashed that day out and then we went out, had a lot of beers, went to High, really good club for anyone who knows. And it was a really good night, but I broke my phone. So this is where I learned this habit and it actually changed my fucking life. I'm going to explain it now. So I broke my phone and I needed to get it fixed. I couldn't use it. That's how I was paying for everything. So I basically had to walk from our apartment into the old town, which was about an hour and a half. Now, my friend at this point was passed out. He was asleep. So I did that on my own. And I walked for about an hour and a half. No phone, no AirPods, nothing. So no really directions as well. I had a rough idea of where I was going. But I was just walking for an hour and a half and I was looking around and everything was lovely. It was unbelievable weather. The vibes were good. This was on Playa de Bossa, which is a really nice part of Ibiza. And it was just amazing. And I tell you what I figured out from that walk was after about 20 minutes, you get a little bit bored. You don't really know what to do. You haven't got your phone to do anything. You haven't really got anyone to talk to. So all you start to do is think. And when I started to think to myself and I started to ask questions to myself, I was like, right, what do I want to do in life? Like, I've always been a believer of there's no limitations. I understand that I can do anything if I set my mind to it. So I said, you know what, fuck it. I want this. I want to live in Ibiza for something like this, be working from a laptop and, being around all these people and living in the sun. This would be a dream to me. So, okay, cool. How do we do that? Well, then I started to realise this job that I was applying for, by the way, I went on Monday to Ibiza, but we didn't book a flight back, but my interview was on Thursday, so I had to be back for like Wednesday, right? Long story short, I stayed until Friday, so I missed that interview. But the reason why is because I sat with myself and I realised, well, I'm never going to have this life if I work for that job. Maybe I'll have it in 5-6 years when I have loads of money and maybe I can, invest in property or whatever. But the point is that's not going to happen. So I ruled it out. So I was like, right, well, we're not doing this then. So how do I get to a point where I can live in one of these countries? Well, I need to run a business. I need to do that for my laptop. So what do I need to do? Oh, it all came pretty clear to me. I need to go all in on my fitness business. And then I started to ask more questions to myself and I said, right, well, how do we earn money? You're not going to earn money from the start. What do we need to do? And then I started asking questions, why do I need money? I'm living at home at the moment. I don't have any kind of outgoings. I'm in a fortunate situation. Why do we need money? To go out and party? Why don't you just sacrifice that and not go out? So when the alarm bells start ringing, I go, hang on. if you go all in on this and you just forget that you need money for a bit, you'll be able to get to your goal a lot quicker. And that's exactly what happened. And this all came from a long walk where I just talked to myself and I just thought, and I got really, really clear on exactly what I wanted to do. And I've noticed we don't really get a lot of that time because no one ever really is not on their phone or actually thinks to themselves. And if I hadn't gone for that walk, I wouldn't have come up with this idea. I wouldn't have started my business. I wouldn't be where I am now. And I wouldn't be making this YouTube video. So it's weird how, things stem from one small change. But the point is, I accidentally learned a game-changing habit that day. And what it taught me was that we're all so fucking stimulated. We all use our phone and we never actually have a time to just think and get really, really clear on all of the problems and things that are going on in your life, From that one walk, I figured out all my problems, what I wanted to do in life, how to get there and what to do. And it was so easy. The point is, I just never gave my time, myself the time to actually think about that stuff. And from there, I changed my life. I essentially got to a point where I'm now earning more money than I would have on that job from my laptop, doing the things that I love. I love fitness, so I get to do what I love for a fucking living. And as a result, I can scale my income a lot further than I ever could working for someone else. I don't have to fucking go into London every day and, lick that twat's balls. Well, do you know what I mean? I don't have to. So that's something I realised I didn't want to do. And I didn't realise that properly until I sat down and I thought to myself for a long time. So essentially what I'm trying to get at here is how important it is to sometimes get a bit of downtime and go for a walk and not use your phone. If I didn't do this, things would be a lot different. So that's kind of the basics of where I'm getting at from this kind of story time. Now, I want to explain what you need to do and what I do now every single week from learning that habit. And it's really changed my life even more. So every Sunday, I go for a 45-minute walk and I leave my phone at home. So I want you to do the exact same thing. Go for a 45-minute walk on Sunday and leave your phone at home. Non-negotiable. You can't use the phone, otherwise it ruins the whole point. Eventually, you will feel exactly like I did. After 10 minutes, you will get bored. And then you just start to think. And then what do you think about? Any sort of problems you have in your life, anything that you've been waiting to solve but haven't quite thought about solving, and eventually you solve it. So as you know, running a business, there are so many different problems, when's this happening? What do we need to do here? And I noticed that by going for that walk every single Sunday, a walk in nature, I become so clear. I have all these new ideas, and then I come home and I know exactly what I need to do. Now, I never used to do this, and I'm sure so many people do not do this. So I think that is really, really important that every single person in this world does this. And I think you'll find it become a lot easier to be clearer. You'll feel less overwhelmed. Anxiety will decrease and you'll get to kind of where you want to be drastically quicker. This massively changed my life, so I feel it's really important to share this video because it might change someone else's life. I don't know how many views this is going to get. Maybe people aren't interested in this type of content. Maybe they're more interested in the gym side of things. But my goal is to help as many people as possible with things I'm learning along the way. And this is one thing I learned which changed one massive part of my life, which will then change the whole future of it. All from one accidental habit. Imagine if I didn't smash my phone and go for that walk. I would never have realised it. But now I did, and I'm paying it forward, and I'm sharing this information. And the reason why is because let's actually plan it out, right? Why does this work? So, like I said, everyone is so stimulated, no one gets the time to think anymore. Because if we think of a typical daily routine, now I understand people do different jobs, but let's say you work in the city, you work in London. You're going to wake up, you're likely going to rush to work, so you're going to try and shower, you're going to brush your teeth, you're going to get out of the house. Then on your way to a train station, you're probably going to put your AirPods in, you're going to listen to music, so there's no real thinking going on there, because you're listening to music. Then you're on a train, and you commute, your tube or whatever to the station, probably reading maybe, watching TikTok, listening to music. Again, no real time to think. Then you work from the hours of 9 till 5, so you're really on, coffees and everything, you're all switched on, you're never switched off. Probably listen to music on the way back. You go to the gym and train, watch Netflix, repeat. That's a daily cycle. But there's never really the time to go for that 1 hour walk without the phone until maybe you watch this video and you realise, hang on, let's do that on a lunch break, or let's do that more often, do it on a Sunday. Because understanding that if you're doing a lot of work, you're doing a lot of output, and you're not having the downtime to think and analyse what's actually happening and starting to look at certain areas of your life, it becomes very, very difficult to be organised, you get overwhelmed. And I think just genuinely going for a Sunday walk by yourself with no phone in nature for a fairly long time, an hour or so, 45 minute plus, because what will happen is after that 20 minutes, you'll start to come up with these ideas and you're like, shit, I don't want to stop walking. You also get 10k steps from doing it. So really, really productive, high ROI task. But that's essentially why it becomes really difficult to become clear. And I think I proved that. I think I was a bit lost. I didn't really know what I was doing. And then I figured it out from that one habit. And that habit now keeps me clear every single week and means I always know what I need to do and come up with new ideas. And I'm always progressing. It's how I've built my business. Every week I always just go for that walk and I always come up with new ideas on how to grow, how to become a better person, how to do this and that and doing that. And it's really, really fucking useful. And it's changed my life. So I wanted to share that for anyone who might find that useful. Really, really changed my life and I'm fucking excited to see what happens in the future. But for anyone who's a bit overwhelmed, doesn't really know what they want to do, maybe go for that walk, think to yourself, talk to yourself a little bit and just get a little bit clear on the problems that are in your life, and you'll find that it's very easy to solve them when you actually just give yourself some time to think. It might even be a case of just less use for your phone. I unfortunately use my phone every single day because that's my business, but I still make sure I have that downtime. So just give yourself that downtime and watch what happens to your life. It's a bit of a game changer. But yeah, today's video, a little bit different, but hope that was useful. Going to obviously keep posting every single day, so we'll keep it flowing, keep a lot of ideas coming, and share a lot of value with you, hopefully in the future. So that's today's video, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.